Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back for another day of so much fun with aim training. I'm having a nice weekend here myself. Got a decent amount of sleep last night. Feel pretty good. Hopefully, everybody else is in a similar situation. We're going to get right into it here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is AG Bastrap. I am a Valorant player, former Ascendant 1 Peak, currently Gold 3. I had twins about a year ago and had to take a pretty substantial hiatus from really playing any games. So just kind of recently been getting back into it because my kids have been napping and sleeping reasonably well, so I have some opportunities to play here and there. So in the process, I wanted to get back into working on my aim. I was aim training pretty regularly prior to them being born, and it just, made me feel pretty good overall about where my mechanics were. My aim felt crisp. I want to get back to that point. I want to not feel like my aim is holding me back. I want to be able to focus on the timing of my util, the overall macro gameplay, things like that. So with that, we're going to jump into the playlist here, and I'll talk you through it as we go through it. So the first section of the playlist is tracking skills. And as you can see, we're just kind of following this sphere back and forth on a horizontal plane, like you would in Valorant if someone is strafing back and forth. The goal here is to kind of not anticipate movement. Obviously, lock in as best as you can on the target for as long as you can. And my first run of this is usually not great, so hopefully I can use this as to warm up a little bit, and then we'll get better as the playlist goes along. So within the playlist, the whole playlist is broken into sections. So the first section is tracking, and there are 2 different tasks within that, and you repeat each task 3 times. And that'll be true of every section. And the next section is flicking. The following section is more micro adjustments, and then the section after that is dealing with like moving targets, target acquisition, target priority, things like that. So we're in the second run of this task, which is hopefully going to go a little bit better than the first one. Tracking is not my best skill, but Valorant's also not a tracking heavy game, so if there's one skill to... Not that you'd want any of your skills to necessarily be deficient, but if there's one skill to be slightly deficient in, it's probably this one. Although, I guess you could argue with where Neon currently is in the meta. Tracking probably needs to be one of my strongest skills if I want to not be completely overrun by dominant Neons. But granted, I'm in Gold 3 right now, so the likelihood of me facing a Neon that is just absolutely dominating the match, not that high. So yeah, I've been getting back into playing competitive a little bit. I've played like one solo queue game and mostly been playing with some friends. And realistically, if I want to start climbing again, I probably need to focus more on solo queuing. But I haven't really figured out what my plan is for... I don't know if I have enough ambition and interest in doing the climb thing again. We'll see. When I do play, I want to feel like I'm playing well and I'm playing to my abilities, right? I like getting better. I like the process of getting better. Kind of reminds me of my days when I was, a music major and just had to practice all the time and trying to figure out how to like make minor improvements day to day. Work on longer term goals, but it's those minor improvements that make all the difference. All right, locking in here at the end of this task. Yeah, that's better score. All right, one more time on this, I think. Right? Yep. Now, we're on to the next task. All right, so this is another tracking task, but it's slightly different. There's some verticality to it. There's a little bit of flicking to it. I need to force myself to underflick more and get on the target as fast as possible. I watch some of the top players do it, and they just like... I'm realizing where my differences are in terms of my technique. I mean, like, obviously I'm not going to score as well as them no matter what I do, right, at least right now. But I should be doing what I can to mimic the way they play, as much as I can, within my ability. I'm definitely capable of mimicking their play and play more than I give myself credit for sometimes. Alright, that's pretty solid. I'm getting better. I'm getting better, getting closer to posting a high score again, which is really, realistically, what I want to do. Ooh, that one did not feel good. Trying to get better about not restarting tasks all the time. It was in my previous journey, I would restart my tasks because I always wanted to like have a good run, post a good run rather than just like actively practice. So giving myself less opportunities to restart. Not saying I'll never restart, but you know, trying to. The point of the playlist is you're supposed to get through it in roughly 30 minutes. I think it takes about 32 minutes if you do it optimally. You know, it's probably about 35 when you add in the fact that there's going to be a little bit of downtime between each task. You might need to stretch. But, you know, for a 30, 35 minute thing that you should do like 5 to 7 days a week, realistic, you know. Ideally, you do it every single day, right? But realistically, 5 out of 7 days is pretty solid, and that's kind of what I'm going for. If you do it regularly, you should see improvement. As long as you're, you know, having mindful practice, and you make an effort to VOD review yourself every now and then. You know, like once a week, I'm going to try to sit down and actually VOD review some of my footage, see where it is that I can make improvements. Honestly, sometimes it's better to watch people that are even better than me and just be like, all right, what are they doing? And like, then take a look at my gameplay. Like, how does this differ? And that's usually where it's like, oh, I'm just doing something really dumb. It doesn't even have to be really dumb, just like different enough that it's like, okay, no wonder they're doing better. One of the big things for me is I just need to not be wearing my contacts, because that's when I do even worse. Alright, so not my best runs there, but acceptable. You know? At least my first run was pretty solid. And then, yeah, tracking's not my overall best skill here. But yeah, so in the summer of 2023, I was probably for 3 months straight hitting the 5 out of 7 day goal, and aim felt really good. I was actually getting into doing even like more significant aim training than just doing this playlist, which was I was like involved in the Voltaic community a little bit and just doing their training system and progressing through their ranks. I think I got up to platinum, maybe diamond. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I was going through that. Enjoyed having fun with that. And then, like I said, I had my kids were born, had to take a hiatus. So what I'm doing now, the playlist is put together by Woohoojin with Voltaic. Low Gravity is the creator of the playlist. Low Gravity 56, I believe. And so the goal was to put together roughly half-hour playlists with some breaks in between. And that's focused on developing skills that are important for Valorant. So this is the Woohoojin Voltaic intermediate playlist. So running through this, getting back in the habit of doing it, just try my best to be good at it and make some progress with it. And yeah, so prior to my hiatus, in episode 5, I hit Ascendant 1, and I pretty much hit that, and I just kind of lost my interest in playing competitive. I took a break from the game for a couple months, came back beginning of 2023, got involved in like the Woohoojan community, started playing in his in-houses, started playing in the Underpeel League, played enough ranked to like maintain my rank. I was diamond, somewhere in the diamond range pretty much the entire time. Just never really got into playing more competitive again. And then my kids were born, and then my account decayed, so now I'm gold 3. So that's how I ended up where I am, and it is what it is. Rank isn't everything. I'm not going to feel better about myself if I'm ranked higher. It's like a cool goal to get set for yourself, but there's a part of me that like wants to work on getting immortal, and then there's a part of me that's just like, what does it matter? You're never going to go pro. You're never going to be a content creator that's using it to like pay their bills or anything. I do this for fun. I enjoy the process. I enjoy playing the game. So like, I don't know. If I climb, I climb at this point. If I ever get, back to Ascendant, maybe I'll hit the, be like, all right, let's just hit Immortal and get it done with and say you did it, and then you never have to worry about it again. But we'll see. So now we're in the flicking tasks. Main key with the flicking task is you want to explode between the targets. You should under aim them if you can, and then adjust to the target with some micro corrections. The key is basically you don't want to over flick, like I did there, and you're gonna do it occasionally, and that's the point. You're practicing, you're training. All right, so try my best here to go fast, keep myself on a decent pace. Not actually hit a rhythm though, because you don't really want to hit a rhythm. Because if you have like a bunch of targets that end up like within a couple inches of each other, you should probably shoot those faster than the rhythm that you established. But if they're all really far away, it's gonna inevitably will have to slow down a little bit. Okay, bad stretch there. Should have taken my time and micro adjusted. Gotta keep my arm relaxed. Don't want it to tighten up. Yeah, still doing not my best run. All right. Here's a good one, though. This one's going to be a great run. Can already tell. Okay, we're going to start that over. Like I said, I don't like to start over a lot, but when if it's like within the first couple seconds of the task starting, I kind of am just like, all right, well, I don't want to go in knowing that it's going to be like a horrible run right from the get-go. Alright, so doing my best to explode. I'm going to try to not talk quite as much during this one. I want to see if I can push my score a little bit. Alright, yeah, see, that's better. A little bit more focused, a little bit better. Alright, so now we go into another flicking task. This is just the targets are different depths. Spread's a little bit different. The size of the targets are a little bit different. This one's a little bit more precision oriented rather than a little less speed oriented, a little bit more precision. Not that speed and precision aren't important in all of the tasks, but again, you want to explode between the targets as best you can, under flick, make micro adjustments. And then, like, you want to have as straight of a line as you can between the targets. Because again, it's about efficiency. The more on target you are, the less you have to adjust, the faster you can actually correct your aim, the faster your time to kill. That's pretty solid. 2 more of these. I like this task more than the first flicking task personally. I don't know why. Always just have enjoyed this one more. But yeah, for anybody that's getting into aim training and opening up aim labs, you want to make sure you adjust your settings. They don't have to look exactly like mine, but I would definitely avoid using the default ones. You want to turn off like the hit sparks. You want to turn off, I would load a custom sound for the target kills because they're really loud and annoying by default. I would probably change the color scheme. It doesn't have to be as gray and black as mine is, but it's a little bit easier on your eyes. And when you're staring into a void, you kind of don't want your eyes to get absolutely wrecked the entire time. So just high contrast is kind of what I'm going for, but with, trying not to have too many whites. All right, so one more time here. And then it's really, I would find a decent playlist to play along with rather than just like playing random tasks. Now, I mean, like, not to say that any aim training is better than no aim training, but like purposeful training is always going to be better than not purposeful. So like something like the playlist I'm doing, or joining the Voltaire community. There are other aim training communities out there as well. I'm just not as familiar with them, but basically something that is like purposeful, working on specific skills, helping you develop your overall aim is going to be the best way to go about it. I wouldn't do more than an hour of it a day. I personally like the half-hour range. Find it not to be overly intimidating and too much of a time suck. I can squeeze in a half hour at some point, typically. And like too much more than an hour is you're gonna have diminishing returns. Your ability to focus and have purposeful practice is gonna be somewhat broken at some point. All right, so we're going to take another 2-minute break here, and we're going to get into the micro adjustment tasks. I'm going to step away from my computer for a quick minute, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, everybody. Got some food delivered, so I had to go grab it. Alrighty, so just about time to jump back into the next task anyway. But yeah, for anybody that's into Valorant and isn't like particularly highly rated, I'm gonna restart that. I would recommend doing you need to do some level of mechanics training. you know, if you're under gold or you're in gold and you just feel like your gunfight mechanics are just horrible, I would really recommend going and watching the Woohoojin Guide to Gold like YouTube series. Because realistically, you need to hit a certain baseline threshold with your gunfight mechanics and hygiene. And if you just don't have that, you're going to have a really hard time ranking up or maintaining your rank, and you're going to hit a wall. And like, trust me, it really feels bad to hit a wall that is basically just like, I just can't shoot as well as anybody else in my rank. And like, you're super reliant on shooting people in the side of the head or in the back of the head, and like, you more or less have to constantly find perfect like flank timings or lurk timings and play a really ratty game, and it's the only way you can like be impactful in matches. And like, and or you're like playing a sentinel and it's like only if people run into your setup and don't know how to deal with it do you really have substantial impact. Like, if that's who you are, take the time, work on your mechanics. You're going to enjoy the game more. You don't want to be scared of gunfights. You want to go in and to like basically every gunfight and be like, I have a chance, or I should be winning this. Like, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm like, I should be winning all my gunfights. Even when they are 50-50, I'm like, no, I should be winning. And like, realistically, I'm not going to. They're 50-50 for a reason. They are literally a coin flip. But if you do find yourself in a 50-50 scenario, you want to like be like confident that you're going to win that fight. And if you're not one of those people, work on your mechanics. And like, not to say that I don't lose fights that I should win sometimes, but like, you should be winning the fights you should be winning most of the time. Alright, so this is all the micro adjustment tasks. This is kind of like, you don't have to like confirm your aim as much with these. And you should be looking for like groupings of targets as much as possible, so you can quickly eliminate a bunch of targets. Helps with the target priority and acquisition. There's not going to be a lot of situations in games where there shouldn't be a lot of situations where you're turning into like 5 enemies. Because if you are, your positioning or your timing is likely more of an issue than your gunfight in that moment. But, you know, there's going to be occasions where you're going to have multiple enemies on your screen and you need to hit as many of them as you can effectively. Right. The next task is like potentially my favorite in the overall playlist. This is just like, something about this is just really satisfying to me. I think because there's so few targets, it's like such a clear path of like how you're supposed to, which target is your next choice, which, you know, there's no real thought about priority. This is all very mindless for me, but it's also fun because it's very precise. And like, this has a lot of direct correlation to like fights you'll take in a game like Valorant, where it's like, okay, I killed one target. Where's the next likely target position? All right. Help you with those trading scenarios where the enemy team maybe doesn't have perfect trade timing. Help you get some double frags in situations you otherwise wouldn't. I forgot to click. that was a solid run. Just running ahead in a while. All right. Sorry. I stopped talking sometimes because I just really want to concentrate and get a good run in. It's a lot easier when I'm not trying to also think about what I'm saying. So yeah, get a little quiet during some of these, but just know it's because I'm trying to focus on my training, not because I don't want to talk to any lovely individuals that happen to be out in the audience. Anybody that does happen to be watching, I appreciate you being here. Feel free to drop a line in chat, say hello. If you don't know me, my name's AG Bassdrop. And yeah, I will be training for a while and then jumping into Valorant, doing some mechanics training within the game itself. Mostly running some DMs, might jump into the shooting range. And yeah, my goal is I want to push my win rate in DM as much as I can. I'm currently at like a roughly 30% for the act, which is really good for me personally. It's the highest I've had. But, you know, if I'm playing Vandal only and I'm sweating it, I should be able to win a lot of these matches, you know? So that's what I'm kind of going for. Try my best to sweat them out, win as many of them as I can, take them seriously, play Vandal as much as possible. Not, you know, some of the ones I've played before, I was like doing Sheriff and Phantom and whatnot. And like, you know, not that there's not value in training those things specifically, but I want to prove to myself that my gunfights are strong. And I should be able to win not the majority, but I should be able to win almost half of my DMs. I should be able to, if I'm taking them seriously. You know, every once in a while you're going to run into a demon who's just like on fire, or you're going to have like one of those, you know, there's DMs where enough people drop out, you just don't get enough opportunities to win. But, you know, outside of those instances, I want to, like, anyone where there's a possibility of me being number one overall, I want to be the number one overall. All right, so we're going to get into the final tasks here, and these are all going to be moving targets. So you want to lead the target. You don't actually want to track. You want to lead where the target's going to be, let them run into your crosshair, click. If you happen to miss, reset your aim, find the next point. Don't keep chasing it and clicking it. The point is you're not supposed to be tracking in this instance. So the first task is just one target on screen and flicking to the new target location, leading it, shooting. The task following that, there'll be multiple targets on screen, I think 4, and then that's really more about, again, it's going to be they're moving back and forth, so lead the target, similar concept, but now you also have to do target priority, find the groupings where you can, make it as easy as yourself as possible. Don't look for kill confirmation. You just, if you shoot, you flick to the next target immediately. So that's the goal. That's the way I should be training it as best I can, you know, and we'll go from there. So our 2-minute little break is up here. So we're going to get right into it. But yeah, this one's like shooting down a hallway. I know notoriously a lot of people don't like this task, but I actually enjoy this one a lot. That was not a great... Get this one back on track. The hard part about this one is actually figuring out where the collision with the wall is going to be. Is like, it's not as obvious as it would seem. I don't think this is going to be a great score. Yeah, no. Moving a little slow on that one today. Alright, falling apart a little bit here. Much better score, though. All right. I'm going to restart that one. Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to get a good run in right now. No more restarts. So if we can find a babysitter, I might go see Wicked with my wife tonight. Not that I'm super interested in Wicked, but my wife wants to go see it, and we deserve to have a date night together if we can make it happen. And it's not always about my interests. Oh my god, my screen just stuttered so bad. And I don't hate musicals, they're just not my favorite. Although I don't, when it comes to musicals, ones where the music and the lyrics within the songs actually advance the story, don't hate as much. When it's just like a random song and dance break, do not enjoy that. Alright, so we're into the final task here. So lead the targets as best you can. Find groupings where you can. Assume you kill the target every time you click. Alright. 2 more times, then we're done with aim lab. Alright, this one's going really, really poorly. Oh well. It's gonna be a bad score. Whew! Alright. That's about where I bottom out my score. Alright. Let's make this last one count, though. I can definitely feel that my eyes are, like, starting to get a little worn down here. My ability concentrates a little broken. All right, that's a lot better. All right, it's at least like an acceptable level of playing that task. All right. So I'm going to take a brief break here. I'm going to eat my lunch that arrived. Then I'll be back with some Valorant here in a little bit. All right. Appreciate anybody who happens to be here. And anybody that sticks around, you're amazing. And we'll see you soon.